I say, chaps, it's retired Colonel BloodKnock here. Still locked down, still safely in the trenches with the Mensaab, but celebrating the return of Boris Johnson. Oh, how happy myself and the wife are. Now, unfortunately, since attending the Gold Cup at Cheltenham, my wife has had the most awful cough. And we did try self-isolating, and we're still self-isolating, and you know what? No matter how much I offer to pay, I can't seem to get the doctor round to see her. Yes, darling, I'm just talking to the men. Okay, that was her. She communicates by text, but she can also hear, so can transmit and can receive. Right, so first of all, wonderful news. Glad to know that we are hitting this COVID thing on the chin. Take it on the chin, and indeed we are. What wonderfully reassuring news, and how pleased we are to hear perhaps a slightly, dare I say, breathless Boris back at the podium. But our great Churchillian figure is back in the fight, perhaps slightly wounded, but there with British grit and determination. For this is what will truly beat this virus. I say, well done, Brits, well done. Now, I am happy to have read in my local paper some public-spirited citizens out there who are very much aware that during this lockdown crisis, nobody is in our fruit fields picking the fruits and the vegetables. I think that is terrible. Do you know, we've had to import Europeans, bloody Romanians. It's worse than importing darkies, isn't it? Well, we had darkies before, but this time we've had to import white Romanians to pick the damn fruit. And otherwise, where would the strawberries come from? For Wimbledon. Now, don't let them cancel Wimbers. Yes? The missus only got a little bit sick after attending the Gold Cup, but don't let them cancel Wimbers. I think that would be terrible, don't you? Yeah? Boris says we've pretty much got the thing licked now anyway. And don't believe all those horror stories about deaths in care homes. Come on, we're paying these people a pittance to look after the old, the sick, and the worthless, who, according to a wonderful fellow I heard on YouTube yesterday, describing himself as a British patriot. I think he was one of those working class cloth cap types, but truly a good man, truly a good patriot. He had suggested that one of the aims behind this pandemic that clearly our ruling class and our leaders have in mind is a population cull. Does it matter? Cummings was right, wasn't he? Yes? When he said, what does it matter if a few old people die? Couldn't have been more correct, and especially if they're poor old people. Their nans, their granddads, and other members of the appalling working class who make you feel like you've stepped in something smelly. Oh, yes. Now, I go on, right? I go on in a note of hope. Yes? Yes, that's okay, darling. Just stop choking, will you? She's just put on the screen there that she's choking. But anyway, look, survival of the fittest. And what do we want? How does this economy get back to work? Well, let me tell you, to have a good health service You need a functioning, strong economy. It's what we've always said. So it is back to work, people, as soon as possible. Mr. Johnson is being placed under so much pressure not to lift this lockdown because of the second wave. I mean, the pressure on him to keep it there. And do you know where that pressure is coming from? These sick, elderly, wibbly, disabled, probably socialist people. What we would have called in my day damn snowflakes. Snowflakes and liberals, always bloody whining about peace and CND and weapons and not wanting to go to war and wanting to spend money saving lives rather than taking them. Well, fortunately, this cull is probably going to wipe out a few of those namby-pamby types, yes? And then it'll be back to Brexit, back to Britain, great again. Then these mighty British fists will once again fight for a place of dominance in the world. Our population will be fit and strong and purged. There will be less dark faces. And I don't mean dark and unhappy, I mean just dark faces like Diane Abbott. I mean, can you imagine if she was in charge of this pandemic rather than our glorious leader? So, I leave you with the old family salute. The salute of the British working class. Sieg Heil! Once again, that is satire. I am making a serious point through satire. If you think of it and take it seriously, it is making a point through humour. Thank you.